Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, here it is guys, I got it. The new FIMI X8 Mini. This little, looks like a DJI Mavic Mini. Little 250 gram-ish, what I say, drone, because it depends on which battery you have. Right now, the standard version, which I have, just has it's a little heavier lithium ion battery, so it's a little over 250 grams. If you're in a country where that really is important, in the United States, it's really just a matter of whether you put the FAA number on your drone or not. There's really not, you still have to abide by the same rules here. There's a LiPo we'll have available soon that'll drop the weight just a hair under 250 grams. So I want to get it up and just get it in the air and do a really quick test flight and just to give some initial flight impressions. So I already have it connected. I had some issues getting the app to connect to my Android phone. Some of it could just be my phone. I do have the newest version of the app. So I'll try to put a screenshot there, download directly from FIMI. And once I got it all working, I was able to update the firmware to the newest firmware, which did some camera adjustments and some battery improvements. So I'll try to remember to also put that screenshot up here of the firmware and what all was included with that update, which I just did. So I'm just gonna take it up. I'm gonna fly it around here just in my backyard and just record the camera and include that. I'm not gonna do any screen recording, and we'll go over that in a future video. I'll do a full review of this guy, show you everything comes in the box, and then a more full review and show you the features in the app and go over it like I normally would. This is gonna be a quick initial flight impressions. Now, I got a 64 gig card that came with mine, and I've been getting a lot of, I'm not getting it now, but a while ago I was getting a lot of errors telling me to format it, and every time I did it, it would still say it needed formatted. But I recorded some video and it worked fine, so I'm not sure what was up with that. Before we take off though, I need to do a compass calibration. I didn't want to do that inside because with metal and stuff inside, there's a very good chance you're gonna get a bad offsets on your compass calibration. So I'm gonna go into the app, I'm gonna go into it shows we're at 29 or 28% battery. I did charge this for like at least an hour, but fiddling around with it on the table and then doing the firmware update, it's taking some of the battery. So this is going to be a very short flight. But if you go into the app settings here, let's see, where is it? Somewhere in here is there's compass calibration. So we'll do that there. It shows us very little interference right now. There's also a gimbal calibration in the app, and I did that downstairs on my table. So I would advise doing that when you first get it, just to make sure that the gimbal gyros calibrated correctly to level. So let's go ahead and click on calibrate, and it's going to tell me to keep it away from metal and such, and click on the calibrate. And now it says to hold the drone horizontal and rotate it until the lights change. Here, let's see if I can notice that. It's still showing it level. Let's see if I can read it here until the green light goes out and the red light is on. So it is. And here all right, now we got a green. So I did it a little bit too long. And that should mean we're successful. Yeah. A lot of times you get beeps and stuff. So this is a little different. It's basically saying rotate it until that light goes green, and then flip it vertical and do it. So we should be calibrated. I just thought maybe all the moving around I did had the light going red. And when I was sitting inside with it, I did all those updates and everything. It was giving me an overheating warning that it was just too warm, the drone. I had to actually turn it off a while ago. So I was wondering if that could have been the case as well. You know, battery, it says please charge. So let's hope it'll let us take off. I'd also recommend you make sure your video quality is set to high. The app, just like on the other FIMIs, wants to keep resetting that to medium. And now it's going to affect your quality. You want your bit rate to be high. And I'm just going to, everything else there, I'm going to go 4K at 30. So I'm going to go ahead and start recording video. And let's see if we can just do a manual takeoff here. I'm going to do both sticks in and just give it some throttle. Wow, that jetted up quick. So again, we got 27% battery. It is not going to fly very long. Looks pretty stable. I mean, this is a very small drone. It's not toilet bowling or anything. I don't have it in sport mode, but I do have the precision landing turned it on. I think that's going to use that optical camera on the bottom to look at the ground, but it's probably looking for a oval shape, a circular shape or something like the other FIMI. So it's probably not going to work well on this. because I just have it on the dirt here. I didn't want to bring out the tarmac or the helipad today because it's so windy it would blow away. And it's very windy, so this test flight's gonna just be very close because I want to see how it does in the wind, but I don't want to take it out far, even if I had a charged battery, and then find that the drone can't make it back, you know, because it's so small. So let's tilt down the camera. So I'm just in shorts and sandals. Let's just try to do sort of like a manual droney here. Like I said, we're not going to test any of the other features today. Oh yeah, that looked nice. Very stable. Now my buddy Marcus has this drone, and he loves it too. And I was really happy with the video quality on this drone. I think it's the best FIMI camera I've seen. Very good quality on the camera. Just no horizon tilt or crooked horizon, which we see in all the other FIMI drones, at least the X8 SEs. But he did get some gimbal shake at times. It wasn't constant, just a little shake. And we'll have to see. With it being windy, I thought this would be a good test for that. So you can see that red light flash. That's because, again, we got a really low battery. So I'm at 19%, 18. I imagine around 15 is probably going to cap our distance. I have all the distance and height restrictions disabled. Beginner mode was not enabled out of the box, which I'm glad, but usually in drones you see that being, I'm gonna tilt the gimbal up some, you usually see that be enabled. And there is a sport mode, and obviously we're not gonna test that today, but you can flip that on. That's gonna give it more pitch. It's gonna fly faster. And that was what you'd really want to be in that mode if you were flying today very far away in this kind of wind. Yeah, this is great. Now I mentioned Marcus, he made a couple of videos with his. We need to be mindful that he dropped his drone from about a foot off the ground on concrete and it cracked the arm, busted an arm, ruined a ribbon cable. So this drone feels really sturdy. It feels, you know, it looks and feels the same in my hand as the Mavic Mini, but it is very fragile. So just wait, keeping that in mind, that if you drop this from any distance at all, there's a good chance that it is going to break. My Mavic Mini, I didn't really have that big of a worry. Obviously, I didn't want to drop it, but I mean, I didn't think it would break up from a foot fall. This drone can, so keep that in mind, guys. Be very careful that you do not drop this drone. Yeah, and it's giving me a warning here on the screen. I'm having trouble. It's wanting to land, I think. Or it's real, yeah. Okay, so it was wanting to land. We're down to around that 15%. And did it stop recording? Yeah, and that's one thing FIMI does I like. When you land the drone, it will stop your recording so you don't forget and then have it end up doing that. And then you would happen to corrupt the file possibly by forgetting to stop the recording manually. So that was nice that it did that. I wanted to see if it would. I was getting ready to press the end button and it stopped itself, just like my FIMI X8 SE does. So my initial impressions are this little guy flies great. I mean, it's probably 10 to 15 mile per hour winds today, and it flew really well. The wobble you saw and stuff would be expected from a drone in this kind of wind, especially at this size. I can tell you that my original DJI Mavic Mini would not fly any better in the wind here. And the gimbal and everything looked great to me. If there's any, I have sunglasses on just because of the glare, so it's a little harder to see the screen, even though it's cloudy today. There's a chance, you know, there could be, if there's any gimbal shake in there, I just probably wasn't able to see it in my phone. We'll see. You guys would know by now if there was. I'm hoping there wasn't. But if it's just occasional even, I can live with that, because if you're making a video, you could edit that out. But if you get jello wobble, that's what you can't fix. And from what I saw in Marcus's video, there was none of that. The camera looked stellar. So This video is probably at 4K at 60 because of my head's camera. It'll still look the same for the 4K at 30 footage, even though I output it at 4K at 60. 30 frames per second isn't my ideal frame rate. I like 60 because it's smoother, but I wanted to test the camera at its max capabilities. So, all right, guys, excuse me, that wraps up the initial flight impressions for the brand new FIMI X8 Mini. Be sure to stick around. I'll be doing a full review on this drone. And I also got the new WL Toys 10401 buggy in. So I'll be doing a review on that. That's a really popular buggy. So stick around the channel for that. If you're new to the channel, maybe checked out for this drone, like I said, subscribe so you can follow me and click the bell so you know when I do upload new videos. You'll know when I upload the full review on this guy. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.